5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Hello. My name is John Webb Please and I am from the Computerland. I will be presenting to you, today, a short introduction to Docker containers. Please forgive my accent, because, this is how we speak in the Computerland, the land where I am coming from. So, let's start. Recently, while I was discussing Docker with a fellow developer, a non-technical person have asked me this question. So, what is that Docker thing? Being aware that this person has limited knowledge about IT, I started thinking about how to, in general, answer this question to a non-technical person. Explaining any technical matter to a non-technical person has its challenges. Docker is not an exception there. Even for technical people, Docker can mean different things. Docker is a company. It is also a technology. It is also Docker engine, but, for most people, Docker means containers. So, we need to explain to a non-technical person what Docker container is. In very simple words, we could say that Docker container is a small computer that runs on a Docker engine. Docker containers require Docker engine. Further on from now, when referring to Docker container, we will be using a word container, and for Docker engine, we will be using a word engine. Engine is prerequisite for a container. So, container cannot run standalone, it requires engine. Container does require the engine, but neither engine can run standalone. Engine runs in a host computer and it depends on host's CPU, RAM, hard drive space, operating system and network. Again, simplified, containers require engine, which on the other hand depends on the host and its resources. If we refer to host, and its resources, as the infrastructure, we can say that containers require an engine which requires infrastructure. For engine to even exist, the infrastructure is required. The infrastructure which we take for granted because engine cannot exist without infrastructure. For the engine to be there, infrastructure has to exist. Let's take a look from the container's view. Similarly, containers cannot exist if engine is not already there. So, we can say that containers take both engine and infrastructure for granted. Containers are utilizing infrastructure through the engine. At this point, your audience would usually say, "Okay, I kind of get it, but how do you use this Docker thing?" Let me try to explain this by running a simple example that will start containers running MySQL database and WordPress connecting to this database. This is our user scenario and plan. Since I know how to blog using WordPress, I thought that it would be nice to run my own blog. These are steps that I will need to do in order for my blog to be on internet. Create an account at DigitalOcean.com. Create Portlet with Docker already installed. Log into Portlet, pull and start 2 containers. One with the database and second with the WordPress pre-installed. Go to URL where WordPress was deployed and start blogging. This is the same process in pictures. Create account at DigitalOcean.com. Create a portlet with Docker engine installed. Pull and run containers with MySQL and WordPress so they can talk to each other. Go to deployed URL and verify that WordPress is up and running. Now, we will demonstrate how this works in practice. Create an account at DigitalOcean.com. Log into your account. Go to the Droplets section. Click on the Create Droplet button. To install the Ubuntu operating system with the Docker pre-installed, click on the one-click Apps tab and select the appropriate item. Select the cheapest option. This will be sufficient for just WordPress and the database. Pick the location of your droplet. For this demo, we decided to keep it on New York. Type the host name of your new droplet, which is a virtual private server. Since I already have account with DigitalOcean.com, I uploaded several SSH keys and I will add all of them, so I can log in from various laptops and droplets. Click on the Create button and wait. Your droplet should be ready in less than a minute. After it was created, copy the IP address of your new server and go back to command line terminal. In terminal, using root account, log into IP address that you copied earlier. You can verify if Docker was installed by running the docker version command. Also, verify that no containers are running by entering docker ps command. The next step is to download and start first small virtual computer that has database in it, or in technical terms, to start container with database. By running a docker ps command, we can verify that database container is up and running. This means that database is ready. After that, we will start second small computer with WordPress in it. In fact, we will start container with WordPress and let him know that it will be using a database container. Again, by running a docker ps command, we can verify that WordPress container is up and running. WordPress should be connecting to database and waiting for us to run its installer. Fill in required field in WordPress installer screen and press the Install WordPress button at the bottom. After successful installation, log into admin portion of the WordPress, using username and password that you chose during installation. Modify existing blog. And go to the WordPress homepage. Verify that your changes in first blog were published.